Welcome back to another class on Evean Hazaer Halacha series. We are in Siman Aleph Halacha Yud. This will be part 8 of the Shi'ur. Now that we are, for now, finished with understanding when the Shulchan Aruch says V'chein ba'arusa, and then the Ramah says Imein rotzeh liknos ela liftor. We went through the Bash the way he wanted to learn this piece. Then we saw yesterday in part 7 the Turi Zahav the way he wanted to learn this piece. Be'ezrat Hashem we will see also the Beheitav later on, not now, how he wants to learn this case completely different. When we'll get it, we'll see it. But today we want to move forward in the Halacha in the Shulchan Aruch. The Ramah continues and he says, Vehu adin b'chol makom sheyesh dichui mitzvah, and the same Halacha is going to apply. That what? That when are we going to tell you that the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom is not applicable? In any place where there is a mitzvah that is being pushed away. For example, he waited with his wife 10 years, and she did not give birth. So basically over here, which mitzvah is being pushed away? The mitzvah of Pru. Over here, the Ramah is telling us in the first opinion that the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom is not applicable. However, continues the Ramah and he says, Amnam, however, Yesh cholkim v'svir lehu, the Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom noheg afilu b'makom mitzvah. There are those that are going to disagree with this opinion that the Ramah brought down, and they're going to tell you that they're going to hold that the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom applies also in the place where there is a mitzvah. Va'afilu b'makom yibum v'tzarich lachlos. Even in the place of yibum, and he's going to tell you that they do need to do chalitza. Comes out over here like this. According to what we're learning now, the Ramah is telling us two important halachot. Halacha number 1, he's telling us that there's no cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom on a case where there's a mitzvah being pushed away, like a woman and a man where they're married for 10 years, and his wife did not bring children to the world. The cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom is not applicable. He's allowed to go ahead and take himself a second wife in order to do the mitzvah of Pru. However, the Ramah brought Yesh Cholkim. There are those that disagree with that opinion, and they hold that absolutely not, that the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom is applicable even in that case where the woman was with the husband 10 years and she didn't bring him a child. We're going to tell you that the Cherem is applicable. Therefore, if he wants to marry another woman, he has to divorce this first wife, and then he can go get married to another woman. He doesn't want to divorce her. He wants to stay with her, no problem. But he's not allowed to go ahead and get another woman. Then we said, Vafilu b'makom yibum. Where the Shulchan Aruch said that yibum, we saw this clearly in the Bash in part 6. Also the Shulchan Aruch says, I will be yavama lo hichrim. But by a yivama, the cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom was never applicable. Comes the Ramah and he wants to bring an opinion that says no, even in a place of a yibum, we're going to tell you that the cherem is applicable and they need to do chalitza. The yivama needs to take off the shoe from the yavam and she has to spit in it, and this way she's able to go free. It's like a form of a divorce. But this is what we want to see today. Ubimakum she'ein harishona bad girushin. In a place where the first wife is not divorceable, you can't divorce her. Was the case? Kigon, for example, shenishtatit. For example, she went crazy, she lost her mind. Or shehu min adin ligarasha, or halachically, he's allowed to go ahead and divorce his wife. Ve'ein rotzeh likach get mimena, but she does not want to take the divorce from him. Yesh lahakel, in both of these cases, we're going to tell you are allowed to be lenient, to allow him to marry another woman. The Ramah is telling us like this now. Even though we said that there's a cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, but on which cases was it applied, and on which cases wasn't it applied? So the Ramah is telling us right now like this. What happens if we're dealing in a situation where the woman is not divorceable? What does that mean she's not divorceable? Case number 1, she lost her mind, so she can't get divorced. Case number 2, halachically the husband has to divorce her, There's a whole Siman for this in Siman Kuf Tet Vav in Halacha Dalet. Halachically, the Ramah has to divorce her. Not the Ramah. Halachically, the Ramah is telling us that the husband has to divorce her, but what? She doesn't want to accept the divorce. In these two cases where the woman lost her mind, or where he's able to divorce her halachically, but she doesn't want to take the divorce, over here the Ramah is going to tell you are allowed to be lenient and allow him to marry another wife, even though in case number one, he has this, woman that lost her mind, he can go and take another woman, no problem. Or he's with a woman, halachically he's not allowed to be with her, he wants to divorce her, but she doesn't want to accept the divorce. Again, he's allowed to go ahead and marry another woman without any problem. We're allowed to be lenient. We're going to try to waive the cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom away from here. Now you need to understand what is going on over here. We spoke about this before. What does it mean that she doesn't want to accept the get? Because B'lineder Rabotai, if we get a chance today, I don't know if we're going to get a chance today, probably in the following show, I don't know when, but we'll see. In Siman Kuf Tet Vav in Halacha Dalet in Evean Hazaer, Rabbeinu Gershom made a cherem, not only that one is not allowed to go ahead and have a second wife, but Rabbeinu Gershom made also another cherem on a guy that he's not allowed to divorce his wife against her will. It has to be with her consent. So that's what he's telling you over here. The reason why over here we're going to tell you that I don't need her consent is because halachically he's not allowed to be with her. Halachically he's allowed to divorce her. However, she doesn't want to accept the divorce. No. Rabbeinu Gershom never spoke about the situation. Rabbeinu Gershom spoke about a normal situation where there's no reason for the guy to go out now and divorce his wife. Or let's say they got into an argument. But it's not something that halachically forces the guy to divorce her. It's something between them two. Right? They got into an argument. I don't know. They had a problem between each other. So the husband says he wants to divorce. No, you can't divorce. Why can't you divorce? Because the cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom also is that you have to ask her permission. Are you ready to accept the divorce? Do you give me permission to divorce you? If she says no, he could hit his head against the wall, nothing's going to help. This is by Ashkenazim. By the Sephardim, we don't have that. If a guy sees that his wife, I don't know, she looked at him the wrong way, I don't know, she made the food not the way he likes it, he wants to divorce her, be my guest. He takes a piece of paper, he goes, he writes it with the rabbi, pays him $1,000, Shabbat Shalom stamp, he doesn't even have to ask her questions, throws it, and that's it, he's divorced. That's the way it works by the Sephardim. But in any event, we see over here a very important point. We see over here that the Ramah is he's combining a woman who lost her mind and a woman who halachically has to be divorced. And the fact that she doesn't want to accept the divorce, we're going to allow him to go ahead and get married to another woman. We're waiving basically the cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom from here. So this is what we want to focus on B'lineder today. We're going to try to do today the Bash in Od Chav Gimel. There's going to be, I believe, B'lineder, 2 parts to the Bash. I hope so, only 2 parts, B'lineder. So the Bash says in Od Chav Gimel like this. Kigon shenishtatet. For example, if she lost her mind. Right? We said over here that in a place where women are not, where the first one is not divorceable, one more time. In a place where the first wife is not a lady that's able to be divorced, meaning she's not divorceable. Number one, you can't divorce a woman who lost her mind because, again, you need her consent, but you don't have it because she's not in the right state of mind. No problem. Or, halachically, he's able to divorce her, but she doesn't want to accept the divorce. We're going to tell you he's allowed to go ahead and marry another woman. Fine. So the Bash says, Katev HaKolbo, the Kolbo wrote, De'en lahatir cherem Rabbeinu Gershom, ela api mea anashim, do not allow the cherem Rabbeinu Gershom to go, basically to be waived, ela api mea anashim, migimel kehilot, migimel artzot. Only through 100 men, through 3 congregations, through 3 countries. One more time, Rabotai. When are we going to tell you that this cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom, a person is allowed to be lenient and permit another guy to get married? That is specifically through 100 men from 3 different congregations, from 3 different lands, from 3 different countries. Only then are we going to tell you you could be lenient. So even though we see over here clearly the Ramah tells us that in the case where she lost her mind, or in the case where halachically is able to divorce her, it's just she doesn't want, the Ramah clearly says, Yesh lahakel latiru lo lishtay acheret. You're allowed to allow him to marry another woman. No problem. Comes the Kolbo, Rabotai, one of the Rishonim, and he says, no, the Ela Hatir, Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom, don't allow the Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom, Ela al pi meya anashim migimel kehilot, migimel artzot. Only through 100 men, through 100, I'm sorry, only through 100 men from 3 congregations, from 3 countries. That means to say, when are we going to allow you to use, when are we going to overlook the Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom, and we're going to allow the guy to get married to another woman? That is specifically, basically, through 100 men, through 100 men from 3 different congregations and from 3 different countries. Over there, we're going to go ahead and allow you. But otherwise, the Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom do not allow it. If Rabbeinu Gershom made a Cherem, and you don't have 100 men from 3 different congregations, from 3 different countries, you are not allowed to go ahead and marry the guy off to another woman. That is the opinion of the Kolbo. However, continues the Bash, and he says, Ubidarki Moshe, Katav, however, the Darki Moshe, which is the Ramah, he wrote, the ein tzarich bezman hazeh lahatir al yidei meya anashim. He says, nowadays, you do not need to allow this guy to marry another woman through 100 men. Why? Ki kvar kala hazman Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom. Because the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom already ended. If you guys remember, we saw in the previous Shurim that the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershom was up to the 5,000th year. We're already past 5,000 years. So that's what the Darki Moshe is telling us. Nowadays, you do not need 100 men to allow a guy to go and get married to another woman. Because the Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom has already come to an end at the 5,000 year. It's only a minhag that the people, they took upon themselves to be stringent, but it's not a halacha. Lechen, therefore, he says, Kalalkan elu shedinim yachdav. That's why, since this is only a minhag, what did Ramah do? He went and he included both of these cases together. Meaning, the case of a woman losing her mind, and the case of where the guy is able to divorce her halachically, but she doesn't want to divorce him. That he says over here. Lechen, therefore, Kalalkan elu shedinim yachdav. He included over here both of these halachot together. Either she lost her mind, or halachically he has to divorce her. Learn from over here. Learn from over here that they're both even, that they're both equal. That the case of a woman losing her mind, or the case of where he has to divorce her according to halakha, and she doesn't want to accept the divorce, these cases are identical. That's why he put them together. To teach us like this, Rabotai. You are allowed to go ahead and be lenient in both of these cases. However, when halachically he's able to go ahead and divorce her, Lo tiken Rabbeinu Gershom, kimo shekatav b'siman kuf tetvav, si'if daled behaga. Rabbeinu Gershom never made a takana where you need the wife's consent or you need her permission to divorce her. Over there, in this situation, Rabbeinu Gershom never applied his cherem. Like I explained before, Rabotai, there's a very, very big difference over here where he's getting he's getting divorced without her permission. If he's getting divorced without her permission, that he cannot do. And that Rabbeinu Gershom made a cherem, saying, any guy who divorces his wife without her consent, we're going to ban him. But in this case, that cherem does not apply. Why? Because halachically, he has to divorce her. If halachically he has to divorce her, there is no, and she doesn't want to accept the get. This is not room for consent, because halachically they're not allowed to live with one another. That's what we're going to tell you, that she doesn't want to take the get, we're going to be lenient. Rabotai, let's do the bash one more time. Again, we're going to see, I have to do also Kuf Tetvav, but I think it's going to be a lot. It's just, we're going to see, let me just start with the Halacha, just to give you guys an understanding of what we are dealing over here. What does that mean, that a woman halachically is allowed to be divorced and she doesn't want to accept the get? That's when the guy's allowed to go ahead and get married to another woman. Again, this halach over here in the Evean and Siman Aleph is specifically for the Ashkenazim, because by the Sephardim we don't need her consent. But even according to the Ashkenazim, this business of Rabbeinu Gershom that you need her consent is not applicable in this case. What are some of the things? I'm just going to read for you a little bit because it's a lot over here. It is a lot, it's a few pages, but I'm going to read it for you just to give you an understanding. What does it mean that one is allowed to divorce his wife halachically? What does she do already? What, she slept with another man? What did she do? So if you look into Evan Ezer and Kuf Tetvav in Halacha Daled, he says over there, Ezehu, the Shulchan Aruch says, Ezehu dat Yehudit. He's asking a question. What's considered to be the religion for a Jewish woman? Meaning, what's considered to be a Jewish religion for a woman? So he says like this: Ezehu dat Yehudit. So he explains, Hu minhag atziniut shenahagu banot Yisrael. It is the custom of a woman to be modest, like the Jewish girls have been behaving all these years. Ve'eluhem and Ve'eluhem advarim, and these are the things. She'im asta achat mehem. If she went ahead and she did one of them, avra al dat Yehudit. She transgressed on the Jewish religion, meaning according to the woman. Yotzeet l'shuk, if a woman went out into the marketplace, into the street, or lemavoi, or if lemavoi mufulash, or if she went into an alleyway that has openings from both sides, or bichatzer, or in a chatzer, sharabim bukimbo, that you have many people that pass through the chatzer, verosha'a perua, and her hair is uncovered, ve'en alecha ridid kechol anashim, and she doesn't have a shawl or a veil like all other women, even though her hair is covered with a mitpachat, with a scarf. Rabotai is going to continue, so on and so forth. He tells you over here, Bechol echad me'elu, we'll try to do it in the following class, it's just a lot. Bechol echad me'elu, tetze belo kituba. If she went ahead and she did one of these things, there's more. But let's say in this case, let's just take one case. A woman went out in the public domain. Or if she went out in a mavoi mefulish. What's a mavoi mefulish? Back then they used to have courtyards. Courtyards are not like our backyards. Their courtyards were in the front. So they had a courtyard basically. On my blackboard, they would have a courtyard facing, there would be one courtyard, there would be, let's say, 4 or 5 houses in one courtyard. And then there would be another house on the other side of the street with another courtyard, meaning with walls. Now they would come in and out, and there was like a middle, there was an alleyway in the middle, and it was open from both sides. If a woman would walk out into that alleyway also, or if she would walk out to a chutz where there's a lot of people are able to pass through that courtyard, the Shulchan Aruch paskins, halacha l'ma'aseh rabotai, you are allowed to divorce your wife without the divorce agreement, without the ketubah. So if a guy, let's say, wrote $1 million or $100,000 or $500,000 on the ketubah, that way he's stating over there that if he divorces her, he has to give her $500,000 or whatever else he promised. Now, if a woman goes with her hair not uncovered, rabotai, that's not a question. We're not even speaking about that. No. He's talking about over here that she didn't have a shawl on her head. It's implying from over here, from the Shulchan Aruch, that a woman must have 2 coverings. One covering is not enough. I'm assuming over here that she would have one covering, covering her hair, and then she would have the scarf on top of that covering. From over here, Rabotai, you learned that it's a for a woman to wear a wig. Rabotai, ask your local rabbis what to do. I'm just reading for you what the Shulchan Aruch says. In any event, but you see clearly, Rabotai, he says clearly, you're able to divorce your wife if she doesn't cover her hair. She doesn't cover her hair with a shawl, even though she has a mitpach, even though she has a scarf on her head. So that's considered to be that she's transgressing on the Jewish religion for a woman. That's a very big problem. This is one of the cases that we're speaking about over here. Shehu min adin ligarsha. Halachically is allowed to divorce her. If a woman walks out, let's say nowadays, if a woman walks out with her hair uncovered, halachically, according to the Shulchan Aruch, the husband wants to divorce her, he can divorce her without a problem. Because she's transgressing the halacha. By the way, let me just make it clear, because in the back he says over here, he first had to warn her through Evean, through witnesses, and then we had to catch her after the warning. We had to catch her not listening to her husband. So therefore, a warning has to be there. The husband has to tell his wife, I want you covering your hair in front of two witnesses. And we see that she doesn't do it, we catch her again, that's it, finished. The husband is able to go ahead and divorce her. Now, Rabotai, I want to just show you something with you. We'll see in the following class that there's much more to this. Not only that, if she curses at her husband, if she curses at her father-in-law, if she behaves in a certain way, if we'll see tomorrow if she shows her for her arm. Not so much, Rabotai, these things are going against the religion of a Jewish woman. Meaning, a woman has to be modest. That's the bottom line. Before we do conclude, I want to share with you a small pshat. I want to ask you guys a question. What happened to Shalom Bayit? What happened of building a house for HaKadosh Baruch Hu? What happened to Shalom Bayit? Why is it nothing like our rabbis are telling us? Not all the rabbis, but sometimes you hear rabbis, they say Shalom Bayit, you're allowed to go here. Shalom Bayit, you're allowed to go there. Shalom Bayit, you're allowed to do this. Why does the Shulchan Aruch doesn't say Shalom Bayit? Why does Shulchan Aruch say that if she transgressed the law of a Jewish woman by not covering two coverings, she put one but not two, he's allowed to divorce her? Where's the Shalom Bayit, Rabotai? This is solid proof for all the people that want to say Shalom Bayit, you're allowed to do Averos. No such a thing in the world, Rabotai. No such a thing for Shalom Bayit, you're allowed to do Averos. A lot of people bring me the case of the Soto waters. The Soto waters was not bringing the wife back to her husband to do Avero. It's allowing her, allow the wife to be back with the husband, not to do Averos. Did you ever do Masech Sota? If Chas v'Shalom, the husband slept with her, the Soto waters doesn't work. Do you know how many criteria, you know how many things have to be met before they can even do the Soto waters? Rabotai, we speak not from our head. We speak from our tuchases. We don't even know what we're saying. And I'm not speaking about Rabotai, regular people. I'm speaking about people that they're learning. Somebody comes up to me and he says, Rabbi, my wife wants to go to the club. What does it mean, club? Absolutely not. Ask me if your wife is allowed to go to a mixed seating, I'll tell you no. What do you mean your wife wants to go to a club? I said, Rabbi, you have to understand, it's nice, it's young people, we get together, and so on and so forth. I said, absolutely not. So he went to another rabbi. That's what people do. They don't like the answer, they'll find somebody else, no problem. You don't like the product, go buy it somewhere else, no big deal. He goes to the rabbi, very big rabbi. He tells him, listen, no, it's not allowed. He sees you don't understand, Rabbi. If I'm not, she's going to divorce me. I'm going to have problems with my wife. He says, you know what? Go to the club, whatever this place is. I don't want to say the name. Go over there, but when you get over there, sit like this. Rabotai, I don't know if you've ever been in a club. I've been in a club one time. I went to the club, I think, when I turned one time 18 or 21. I don't even remember. I think more like 18. My friends took me, which was not a good idea. Rabotai, it was nasty. It was disgusting. And I'm not thinking about that. I was religious back then. It was disgusting. People on top of people, women dancing with men. It was disgusting. I know what a club looks like. You can't tell me you're going to go there and sit in the corner. I don't care what you say. In the club, Rabotai, I had girls that would come up to me and would want to dance with me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It felt disgusting. Why in the world would you go with another girl not knowing who she is? Anyway, Rabotai, doesn't matter. This rabbi said, no problem. Go and turn around. Where are you going to turn around? Where are you going to look? Why are you telling me stories, Rabotai? So I asked him, why do he allow you? Shalom Bayit. Because if not, then my wife is going to divorce me. Wait a minute. What do you mean if not your wife? There's a mitzvah about that. To the end of the halacha, but we'll do it tomorrow in the following class. There's a mitzvah. Don't keep this kind of woman in your house. Let her go. Not my words, Rabbatai. The Shulchan Aruch says this. But this is where we don't know, Rabbatai, what's right, what's wrong. No such thing, Rabbatai, no such thing. People go to parties, people go to beaches, people go to pools. People do a lot of wrong things. Shalom Bayit, Rabbi, Shalom Bayit. Erase that word from your vocabulary. Erase that word, Shalom Bayit. When it comes to doing Averas, there's no such thing as Shalom Bayit in order to make my wife happy through Avera. Nobody does the mitzvah of making your wife happy by Avera through the Avera. There's no such a thing. No such a thing, Rabotai. There's a Khatam Sofer, beautiful Khatam Sofer. He says that if a person goes to a religious wedding, listen to this. Religious wedding, fully separate. Separate dancing, separate seating, everything. But by him going to be Mesamech Khatan V'Kala, he's going to stumble on an immodest woman. A woman who's parut, she's open. And that's going to it's going to lead him to have bad thoughts. Don't go do the mitzvah, stay home. Nobody needs your mitzvah to doing a nevera. But this is the emet, Rabotai. Here, look, take it, look. Go look it up, learn with your rabbis, for all I care. Evean as a Siman Kuftat, that's 115, Halacha Dal. Go learn Halachot. Go learn Halachot a little bit. See what the Meforsh have to say in this piece. Clear Shulchan Aruch, Rabotai, clear Shulchan Aruch. That's called Overet Alta. That's called that she's transgressing the Jewish, she's transgressing the religion. She's transgressing halacha for the woman. How can that be? She didn't cover her hair. What did she slept with a married man? What did she do? She slept with boys. What did she do? It's not about what she did. There's a way that the woman have to behave. But we'll see this more tomorrow. But I just want to show you over here. This is what he's trying to tell us over here. That in a situation where a woman lost her mind, or in a situation where halachically he's allowed to divorce her, like the one case I brought you from there, but she doesn't want to receive the divorce. Again, according to the Ashkenazim, according to the Sephardim, there's no problem with Bichlal. According to the Sephardim, if he has to divorce, he writes the get, he throws it, and he's able to go marry another woman without a problem. According to the Ashkenazim, we're going to tell you that this concept of needing the consent from the wife is not going to be applicable over here, meaning that this what Rabbeinu Gershon made, that you have to have the consent from the woman, is not going to be applicable at all. Why? Because halachically he has to divorce her. Not that he just stopped out of, he's feeling a certain way, or he got into argument, or his mother said, or her father said. No. Halachically, we're going to tell you that even without her consent, he's allowed to go ahead and divorce her. But over here, Rabotai, there's a problem over here. But she doesn't want to accept the get. No problem. You don't want to accept the get? Not a big deal. Go get married to another woman. That's what we're going to tell him. We're going to tell him that the Chemra Rabbeinu Gershon is not applicable over here. Rabotai, we're going to conclude right over here. So let's just do this one more time. In a place where the first woman is not divorceable, Kigon, for example, she lost her mind, or halachically he has to divorce her, like I read for you one case, but she doesn't want to take the get from him. Why do I care if she wants or not? Because we said that there's a Chemra Rabbeinu Gershon that you need her consent. Oh, over here I don't need her consent. I'm able to divorce against her force, but she's not accepting the get. Oh, she's not accepting the get, no problem. Yesh lahakel, you can be lenient in both of these cases. Lahatir lo litzacheret, to allow him to marry another woman. We saw the Kolba said, no, don't rush. In order to allow this Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershon to waive the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershon, you need 100 men from 3 different congregations, from 3 different countries. Darki Moshe said, no, why? Nowadays, since it's only a minhag ba'alma, it's only a stringency that they accepted upon themselves, you don't need 100 men. And also because the Cherem of Rabbeinu Gershon was already over 5,000 years ago, he says absolutely not, you don't need it, there's no problem. According to the Ramah, if this situation ever comes up where a woman lost her mind, or halachically has to divorce her, and she doesn't want to accept the get, we're going to tell you he's allowed to marry a second woman. But according to the Sephardim Rabotai, in the case where halachically he's able to divorce her, this question this whole problem we're not going to have where she doesn't want to accept the get. We're not asking her. Make it one more time clear. The only time, Rabotai, we need her consent. The only time the Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom is applicable to a woman, meaning that we need her consent, and if we don't have her consent, there's going to be a Cherem placed on the husband. The only time where he's divorcing her for other reasons than what the Halacha requires him. Rabotai, have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.